It's very emotional for me because I see European people with blue eyes and blonde hair being killed, children being killed every day with Putin's missiles and his helicopters and his rockets.
Undoubtedly, witnessing the Russian invasion of Ukraine is an emotional affair. However, distinguishing anguish and displacement based on one's hair and eye color raises many questions with regards to the apparent double standards there are in our world when it comes to the effects of war and refugees. As Khalid Baidoun puts it, let's not lose sight of how religion, race, and namely whiteness figures heavily into refugee resettlement. The double standard on forced displacement is glaring. Take for example the countries who have welcomed Ukrainian refugees: Poland, Slovakia, Hungary, Romania, and Moldova. Poland and Hungary have offered food, shelter, and all necessary aid to Ukrainians fleeing war. Yet in Poland, only 2 months ago, security forces were accused of torturing refugees from Palestine, Syria, Iraq, and Afghanistan. Meanwhile, in Hungary, these are the images of a fence constructed to stop refugees from entering their borders. That is, non-white ones, of course. Now let's flip the script. Europe's biggest Muslim majority country, Turkey, has accepted Ukrainian refugees for years, without xenophobia and the hostility facing Muslim refugees when fleeing to Europe. And this phenomenon is not new, not at all.
Now the unthinkable has happened to them. And this is not a developing third world nation. This is Europe.
An argument that you will hear often on mainstream media is that Kiev, the capital of Ukraine, is a civilized place, unlike Afghanistan and Iraq. The irony is, civilization was present in Mesopotamia and Iraq long before it appeared in Eastern Europe. And this is not a tit-for-tat argument, but history speaks for itself. Millions of Jews found refuge in Turkey and Palestine fleeing the Nazi Holocaust. These are images of more European refugees in now war-torn Syria seeking a safe haven from the Nazi and Soviet invasion of Europe. Yet our collective memory perhaps chooses to forget these facts, and it all lies in Edward Said's Orientalism theory. Western narratives illustrate an inappropriate understanding of Asia and the Middle East, lands of imaginary danger, mystery, and barbarism. Yet it is these dangerous barbarians that were happy to take in Europeans when savagery tore the old continent.
Just to put it bluntly, these are not refugees from Syria. These are refugees from neighboring Ukraine. I mean, that, quite frankly, is part of it. These are Christians, they're white.
Russia has indeed invaded Ukraine, an aggression that has been condemned by almost everyone. Yet when the US invaded Iraq and Afghanistan in 2003, or when Zionists occupied Palestine in 1948 and invaded Arab lands in 1967, where is the global outcry? Where is the condemnation? All in all, if Ukrainian refugees deserve our attention and hospitality, which they most definitely do, surely those from Myanmar, Yemen, Syria, Iraq, and Afghanistan deserve the same.
The US troops' recent retreat from Afghanistan again reminded the world of the catastrophic impact of US anti-terror war after the September 11th attacks. 20 years on, though the US war on terror seems to be losing steam, experts have raised doubts about the true intentions behind the US military operations.
The word global war on terror is just a marketing product. It was never an operation against terrorism. And about terrorism, it's a complete hypocrisy. What the USA have been doing was provoking terrorism first.
Sort of double labeling against terrorism, which had been confirmed the then US Secretary of State Hillary Clinton during the hearing of Senate Foreign Affairs Committee that US created Mujahideen to contain Russia in Afghanistan, with whom US is fighting on the name of terrorism now.
I think the perceived double standard of the US when it comes to counter-terrorism is a result of some historical facts around how the US has handled itself, internationally. And one part focuses on the use of groups with questionable intentions when it suits the US interests, and on the other, the US coming down hard on such groups whenever they tend to pursue interests that are inimical to those of the United States.
القيادة الأمريكية كان لها دور خاصة في ال20 سنة الأخيرة وما قبلها عشان نتعمق في التاريخ كثيرا في إحداث حالة من الفوضى العارمة في منطقة الشرق الأوسط بعد ما يسمى أحداث سبتمبر. كانت البداية مع أفغانستان، وانتقلت هذه الفوضى إلى العراق ثم إلى سوريا ثم إلى باقي الدول العربية فيما يسمى بعد كده بالربيع العربي. هذه الفوضى نتج عنها سقوط أنظمة وتداعيات خطيرة في الأوضاع الاقتصادية والسياسية والاجتماعية داخل هذه المجتمعات.
Pokazuje jednu, da kažem, globalnu komponentu politike Sjedinjenih Država u međunarodnim odnosima, da oni smatruju da su neko ko ima pravo da čini drugima sve što hoće, oni bez odgovornosti, ali su opet unutar Ujedinjenih nacija spremni da prozovu svaku drugu državu za one stvari za koje ne smatruju da su suprotne međunarodno pravo ili normama života u međunarodne zajednice. Znači dvostruki aršini koji se apsolutno primenjuju. Bilo bi logično da u međunarodnoj zajednici zakoni važe za sve u iste meri, ali oni to žele da prihvate jer sebe smatruju drugačijim i očigledno vrednijim, boljim od drugih.